Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Today we are talking about the latest studio album from Spiritbox entitled Tsunami Sea. Tsunami Sea? From Spiritbox? More like Poonami P from Spirit Cox. Am I right, folks? Oh, y'all are way more aggressive than I thought you were. Why are you booing me? I'm funny. You're gay. You're woke. You're a poser. You listen to pussy metalcore garbage. You don't get it. Legalize comedy. Mr. Meltdown, help me out here. Fat chance. You're on your own, bud. You got yourself into that mess. You can get yourself out. Anyways, Spiritbox. It's been a pretty great couple of years for this Canadian alternative metalcore crew, featuring a few former members of 2010's Hot Topic mathcore metalcore crew. I wrestled a bear once, so much so that most people, thankfully, have completely forgotten about I Wrestled a Bear Once. They dropped their debut full-length album Eternal Blue back in 2021, and though I was not convinced of its might and glory, I was very clearly in the minority. This was a very popular record in 2021, critically acclaimed. It sold pretty well. It had a ton of viral hit singles. In the years since, Spiritbox have released 2 more EPs, which have both also created some hit viral singles. They've been nominated for Grammy Awards and Juno Awards, and they've toured the world, and they've done multiple collaborations with modern rap megastar and Grammy Award winner Megan Thee Stallion, and as such, Spiritbox have grown more and more popular, more and more influential and important to modern metal and metalcore and mainstream metal and such and all that. With all of this in mind, it should not be especially surprising that a lot of people were mega hella hyped and pumped for this brand new album, Tsunami Sea, their sophomore studio album. It's one of the most highly anticipated rock, metal, alt, whatever you want to call it, albums of 2025, and now it's here, and it's... I don't think it matters what I say. I think a lot of people are going to get mad at me. It's fine, okay? It's not the best album of the year. It's not the worst album of the year. It's fine. Okay, well, it's a little better than just fine. I'll say that. Like, saying fine makes it sound as if I was just like I was just bored out of my mind all the way through this. Spiritbox have a pretty cool sound, blending a lot of the riffs and tones that we expect of modern metalcore at this point, with some more progressive flourishes here and there, some more alt-metal kind of vibes here and there. Courtney LaPlante has talked a lot about being influenced by contemporary R&B and singers like Doja Cat, The Weeknd, SZA, Her, and you can definitely hear some of those influences in Spiritbox. With this album in particular, too, I do feel like there's a lot more influence from electronic music. Like, there are a couple of songs that are heavily inspired by, like, EBM and drum and bass music in particular. But unfortunately, I think Spiritbox are still lacking in a couple of areas, and I'm just still not really convinced that Spiritbox are, as many people would and have described and will describe in graphic detail and possibly aggressively in the comments below, the most unique and powerful and special band out there right now. But let's focus on those negatives later. For now, let's focus on the positives. Courtney sounds awesome, consistently across the record. Her screams and roars and guttural vocals sound massive and vicious and in your face, and more standard clean vocals and hooks and melodies and the various harmonies that are present all across the album are genuinely quite beautiful. Also, the production is amazing. Really, really great shit. I love how much body the record has sonically. I love how lush and immersive and big and dynamic it is. Like, you have these really thick, towering guitars, and you do have all these really great melodies and vocal textures and atmospheric elements. The electronic elements and instruments and soundscapes and such, I think, for the most part, are really well blended in, and I do like seeing a few more erratic, super crazy heavy moments here and there. And this all culminates in a pretty decent selection of songs. There's some good, entertaining, engaging stuff on here. For instance, Soft Spine. I like the genty, ballsy grooves here. I like that kind of Gojira-esque kind of scraping sound effect that you hear all throughout. I like some of the more crazed and frantic kind of like wild guitar work later on in the track. Then there's A Haven with Two Faces, which, I don't know, call me crazy, but I'm kind of feeling like it's found a sweet spot in between the more emotive, lush, punishing kind of prog metal of like The Work from Rivers of Nile, and also the aforementioned contemporary R&B influences from The Weeknd and SZA and so on and so forth. Like, it has a very big and encompassing kind of feel and vibe to it, and there's some really great, rich, warm vocal textures and dynamics and harmonies all the way through. Love the way that vocals are layered here to create just kind of like waves of like this very emotive kind of like alt metal melodrama. And all the while you have these big agonizing screams kind of looming over everything. You have these dark, shadowy, moody kind of guitar licks kind of like ominously floating in the forefront of the sound as pounding muscular riffs kind of dig their way in and beat down relentlessly. The closing number, Deep End, is pretty cool as well. I wouldn't say that it's upbeat, but I would say that it is more uplifting. It does kind of play more to like more poppy kind of post-hardcore tendencies and strengths, while still applying a lot of those rich vocal textures and dynamics, while still throwing in some really great harmonies, overall ending this album on a pretty warm and satisfying note. And honestly, I'm loving the double whammy of No Lost, No Love and Crystal Roses. This is where the most of the electronic influence is on display. We're pulling heavily again from EBM and drum and bass music, with the former cut throwing in some like kind of morbid, cool, edgy, kind of creepy, kind of spoken word stuff over some frantic, minimalistic drum patterns, and contrasting that with some more heavy modern metalcore, whereas the latter cut just embraces EBM, EDM, drum and bass, builds and beats, and combines that with some aggressive metal guitars and some heavier, more towering instrumentation, especially in the latter half, to create a genuine kind of like club metal rave banger. However, as good or even great as these songs, as these moments may indeed be, they are not enough to make a great album. Maybe if they were completely on their own, but they are not. There are other songs on this album, and in my opinion, they are nowhere near as impressive. I mean, look, I got nothing against Perfect Soul, Keep Sweet, Fata Morgana, but I'm just not really blown away by them either. This may only be Spiritbox's second album, but they have been releasing a lot of music within the past 5 years, and they do have an established sound and feel that relies on a lot of the same riffs and rhythms and hooks, and these songs do not deviate from that, and as such, they kind of bore me. And frankly, it gets to a point where Spiritbox start to sound derivative of themselves. Like Black Rainbow and the title track Tsunami Sea both feel like pretty blatant attempts at recapturing the essence and impact of cuts from Eternal Blue, like Holy Roller and Circle With Me, respectively. Half of this album sounds like Eternal Blue 2.0. I gave the original Eternal Blue a 3 out of 5, so that half would also get a 3 out of 5. But the other half, which has more exciting and interesting, different sounding stuff, I'm feeling closer to like an enthusiastic 3.5 out of 5 or even a 4. With this in mind, I think we're going to go right in the middle, and we're going to go with a pretty flat, middle-of-the-road 3.5 out of 5. Technically an improvement, but there's still work to be done, and I'm still not convinced that Spiritbox is the most exciting, most brilliant band in modern metalcore today. There is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that the people who love Spiritbox, the people who do think that, will love this album and will continue to think that, and more power to ya. I ain't got no beef with you. We good. I still look forward to seeing what Spiritbox do in the future. I do still feel like with some fine-tuning and with some extra elbow grease, these guys could be more than capable of putting out something truly spectacular. For now, Tsunami Sea, 3.5 out of 5. It's good. I'm not blown away, but I'm not hating it either. It's good. Yay! And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I am not an expert, nor do I claim to be. So what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? And thank you for watching. Make sure you press subscribe right here so you get updates on the Metal Meltdown fucking immediately. Boom, other videos here. Join us on Discord. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.